Rise ye ashen tarnished chosen undead, and welcome Souls fans, new and loyal, to Dark Souls 3, your easy to follow, completely offline, platinum all achievements guide. So this is it. You've done Dark Souls 1, you've done Dark Souls 2, the culmination of your Souls experience meets up in Dark Souls 3, a game that kind of takes some of the best bits of both and then adds some of the worst bits of both as well, as we do have to do quite a bit of Covenant farming in this. But do not fear, part of this being easy to follow is I have made that Covenant farming as quick and easy and painless as possible for you, along with the rest of the game. Let me just adjust the volume. As much as I love the music of the game, I don't want it to drown out any of the instructions you're going to get. So, we are going to get 42 trophies, 43 in total if you include the platinum, so 42 plus the platinum. Feel free to adjust the word trophy and replace it with achievement if you're on a non-PlayStation system. We're going to complete the game 3 times as we're doing it completely offline. We're not doing save skimming, so we are going to do it the good old-fashioned way. We are going to fight the final boss 3 times. We need to do a third playthrough anyway, as there are certain rings only available in New Game Plus 2, so we might as well finish the game off while we're at it. So 3 runs for 3 endings, 33 gestures, 15 weapon infusions, 35 miracles, 27 pyromancies, and 34 sorceries, and on top of that, 107 rings we're going to be collecting throughout the game. So let's get started. Up the brightness a couple of notches. Yes, visually it's not as impressive, but it's just going to help out in a couple of the darker areas.
Yes.
Skip. Name your character what you wish. Gender does not matter, so go with your preference. In this, it's not like in Demon Souls where there are certain armor sets or so that only work for one or the other. Does not matter in this one, so go with your heart's content. Stick with the Knight. The Knight has a 100% physical block shield and a long sword that's going to see us through the majority of the early game. And the reason it's going to do that is we are going to start with the Fire Gem to create a Fire Longsword. The Longsword has a very fast move set. Combined with the Fire Gem is going to offer stun onto a number of enemies. It also means we're not going to have to invest many stats at all into strength or dexterity, since when you make a fire weapon, it no longer scales with your stats, only with the level of the weapon. So that's some benefit because we are going to be investing early stats into health and luck. Luck is what's going to make the farming of this game possible, and then we'll respec afterwards. So, with that all said, let's get started. As the game loads, I will let you know you have started off with 7 of the 33 gestures required for the gesture trophy. And any minute now. There we go. Cemetery of Ash. Charge forward. And slice. Come to the right. And in the corner, we're going to pick up a soul item. Not a particularly strong soul item, but 200 souls is 200 souls. Keep an eye on your stamina and just make sure you have enough so that you can slice these enemies as they get up. Ashen Estus Flask. That flask, similar to your Estus that heals your HP, your Ashen heals your FP. Your FP is your mana, your blue bar. We will be using that later. Shield up for this guy, as he attacks at the same speed as you, only by the time he's wound up, it's already too late, so just block the attack. But yes, we will be using the FP bar quite a bit later on, but in the early game, we do not use it. Therefore, there is no need for us to have the Ashen Estus on. Come here, 2 enemies, stab 1, either block or dodge the second, and lastly, up here we go. Each of those should drop you around 20 souls, however one of them clearly drops either more or less, as I'm at 144, which is consistent. It's always 144 at this point if you've killed all of them. Come here to the right, and there is a giant crystal lizard. There he is. The other reason I like the knight to start with, we have enough health and the 100 block shield. We can fight this for 4,000 souls. Early on, that is ridiculous. That is so many levels. So, shield up. No more than 2 hits at a time. Then shield up. And when he arches up like that, back away as the little diamonds that he creates, or crystals that he creates on the floor, have magic damage in them as well. Stick to the side. Okay, when that happens, try and get to the front and you can get this visceral attack. If you don't get to the front in time, just do the normal 2 hits. Do not risk it. This is an enemy that can 2-hit kill you with your shield down. So we are being respectful, and if it takes you a few efforts, then do not be ashamed. There we go. Titanite scale, but more importantly, 4,000 souls. And in the corner here, for extra merit, is another soul item. And that enemy is also a good indication for the level of aggro this game is going to throw at you. So my style to make this game as easy as possible is we are going to try and, in combat, we're going to slow down what is otherwise an incredibly aggressively paced combat system or combat game. The parry timing has been further reduced, so parrying is a lot harder. It was very capable in Dark Souls 1, and then Dark Souls 2 made it harder, and Dark Souls 3 made it harder again. Light the bonfire, and that's your first trophy of 43, the Enkindle trophy. Rest, and that is gesture number 8, the rest gesture. And then we can get back up. Come over to the left, and we're just going to wait. Don't pass further than the rocks on the right. So we're going to stay around here, and eventually... Come on, there you go. He will attack. 2 hits from now on. Come round to the right, don't sprint. Walk, 2 hits. Left, 2 hits. Then come round out to the right quickly, 2 hits here. And then watch behind, as here he is. Our next victim. Oh, we had loads of times. So he normally sprints. Once you've dispatched him, come up here, you'll see a note on the floor. We're going to jump across to grab that item. Now, you'll notice I'm not picking up floor loot, so to make this guide as easy to follow as possible, I'm only using guaranteed items. So I recommend you pick up anything that comes on the floor. You have a chance of getting extra souls, extra titanites more importantly, so that that's less that you either have to spend. But for my sake, everything I do you will be able to do because I am not picking up anything that is random. Jump over here, grab a titanite shard. Plunge attack tutorial. When falling, press attack. There we go. And then watch out because this is an archer. So unlike Rickon Stark, we learn to zigzag. Down here, lock on to the near enemy so that you can get a plunge attack on this guy. If the shield is not attacking, forward and attack will knock the shield away and give you a critical. Otherwise, just have your shield up, he will attack, bounce off your shield, and then you can get 2 hits in. Grab the 5 firebombs, and that's this area clear. Ready for our first boss. Yes, you already have a boss this early. And no, it's not like the Vanguard Demon in Dark Souls 1. This is actually, in my opinion, similar level of difficulty as Gwyn, who is the final boss of Dark Souls 1. However, there's an advantage, because in Dark Souls 1 you've played the whole game before you get to Gwyn, Gwyn is achievable, he's fightable. In this, GUNGDYR says hello off the bat. So we're going to make this as easy as possible for you. The boss fight doesn't start until you remove the sword. Once you remove the sword, as soon as he starts to move, we're going to get 4 two-handed, so I press triangle to get two-handed, 4 two-handed attacks on him. You're then going to take off two-handed by pressing triangle again, shield, and you are going to stick to his right. My right, his left. So our right, over here, his offhand. Shield's always up, and when he attacks, always roll to our right, his left. So, two-hand, let's see this in action. Four. And there you go, you can see we got that extra damage. No more than 2 attacks at a time. I'm letting my stamina rebuild now, so I'm not attacking for one go. There we go. 2 attacks. As you can see, by sticking to his right, it's only really a handful of attacks that I need to worry about. Right, and now he's down. 2-hand. Out comes the crow. And the same strategy applies with the crow. It's harder to see the attacks, but same direction. Stick to our right, his left. And when any big attacks move, just get ready to roll, but stick to that right side. And there you go. Trophy number 2, LUDEX GUNGDYR, and then trophy number 3, Embrace the Flame. We are now embered. So this is the equivalent of being human in Dark Souls 1 and 2. You'll notice in the top left you have fire on top of your Covenant symbol, which is currently just a blank slate. And we've got cool little ember effects on our character with little flickering embers coming off of our body. Key thing is, in an embered state, your maximum health is at its maximum amount. When you die and you go unembered or hollowed, well, it is still hollowed, so when you become hollowed, your max health is reduced. Not as bad as Dark Souls 1, where it halves it, but reduced by, let's say, 10%, maybe 20%. Open the doors. Don't worry about that item. That is just a broken short sword. But we are going to come here. 2 enemies. So we kill this one that's sitting. Excuse me? How dare you? Bop them and grab the homeward bone. Come back around. Thank you. Up we go. Cheeky 20 souls here, so before you go up the second set of steps, turn right, and you'll see this guy who just... the developers have put him here to just make you admire the view. PlayStation 4, but beautiful graphics, and the base of, you know, Elden Ring then takes this to the next level, of course. Come behind, give him your best 300 impression. This is Sparta. This is backstab. That was supposed... Wait a minute. Okay, thank you. Supposed to be a kick, but hey-ho. How embarrassing. Up and to the right. Once you get to this corner, shield up as there is a doggo that's about to attack. Let him bounce off your shield. 2 strikes deals with the doggo. Grab the ember. Turn back. And then here we are at the entrance to Firelink Shrine. Definitely an upgrade from what it was in Dark Souls 1. Because yes, we are actually in the same world as Dark Souls 1. There's going to be a lot of references that you will see coming back to Dark Souls 1, including Analondo we will be going to later on. Come down the steps, and it wouldn't be a Souls game without a depressed NPC at the Firelink/Central Hub. Talk to him, and we are going to get the collapse gesture, gesture number 9.
Don't you think?
down the corridor. We will talk to these other two in a moment. However, firstly, it's our boy, Andre of Astora.
Well,
He's back.
You're in search of the Lords of Sin.
And apparently we're doing a gesture. Good to know. Thanks, game. Talk to him twice.
Yes, we bring the stones.
As always, I'm going to skip through dialogue. However, if you have not played before, please do not skip cutscenes. Please do not skip dialogue. The games are incredible. The story is amazing. There's a lot of lore to soak up. And all the little extra descriptions mean nothing if you skip the dialogue that the game's trying to give you. So, give yourself the best case of trying to understand the depth of this game by listening to what people have to say. However, if you have played before, and like me, you can skip through the dialogue and get your 10th gesture. Hurrah! We're now going to infuse our longsword with the fire gem to create the fire longsword. And you'll see now in the bottom middle where it says attribute bonus, we no longer get any scaling bonuses on this weapon. On the flip side, originally we were doing 110 physical damage, we're now doing 93 physical and 93 fire. Fire damage, which most enemies of the game is weak to, and stuns all bestial enemies and many skeletal enemies. So most of the enemies in the game get some form of stun lock from this. And the last thing I didn't do, why am I gesturing? Is a lot Estus, put it all onto physical, your orange Estus flask. We will use the Ashen Estus as we get more, but for now we don't have a use for it, so we won't use it. To the Handmaiden, there's your throwback to Dark Souls 2, the Handmaidens. Talk to her, and we're going to purchase a single prism stone. There we go. And now come over to our main fire keeper. Here she is.
I take the law to this end. Very well.
Level up.
Then take.
And thanks to that 4,000 that we got from the giant titanite lizard, and as you can see, we only actually got 2,000 from GUNGDYR, so 4,000 is a huge amount to get. Actually, no, we got more than that because we spent 1,100 on the infusion, so we would have been on 7,400. So there you go, we got 3,000 from the GUNGDYR, so we still got more from that titanite lizard. So, 3 levels into vigor, 1 level into endurance, 2 levels into dexterity. So we need dexterity at 14 as we're going to pick up a bow in the first area of the game, and we want to be able to wield it off the bat. So there we are. The rest is self-explanatory. Endurance, we want to be able to swing the sword as many times as we can and run as far as we can when we need to. And vigor, health equals survivability.
Farewell, Ashen One. May the
Once you've done that, we're now going to place the coiled sword. Now, if you go from the herald and walk directly behind, you'll always reach the correct spot to do it. Otherwise, as you can see, it kind of goes, look, right here, I don't have the option, here I do. So, find the magic spot and insert your mighty weapon. I should not have found that funny. Okay, rest. And you can see now we've got our 4 Estus flasks recognized. We're not done here yet though, so up we go, and instead of exiting, we're going to come up these steps. Take off all your armor. It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. Up we come for a soul item, and what our end game is, we're going to jump up to here. However, you cannot do it from the ground, so what we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of this convenient tree to create some elevation so we can jump across. You have to do that by running, so we're going to run. Once you notice your character is higher up, jump to the right. So up, jump. Oh, I jumped and I missed. I jumped there instead of there. So, but you can see, no, come on. No, I went up and I went back down. It's a little tricky. What's annoying is I've done this test 3 times, and each time I did it first try. The moment I start recording, of course, we don't. Come on, Drew. Drew, people are watching. This is embarrassing, sir. There we go. See? 300 bone. You can put your armor back on. We're not speed running, so we don't need to be loincloth person. Don't worry about the entrance for now, we're going to come back for it. Don't worry about the masterless swordsman down there, we're going to come back for him. We're just making our way into this far corner. Get your stamina back, and immediately come to the far left, so we're going to force this lizard can only run into this wall. And that's going to be the tactic for crystal lizards in this game. Always come out to the edge and force it so that where the only place they can run is to a dead end, so you don't just have to keep running. Otherwise you'd run all the way up here with him and he may be able to disappear before you get the kill. Twinkling Titanite over there. Carry on, and we're going to go back to where the entrance was. In we go, and what we've done is created a shortcut. So we're about to meet Pickle-Pee and Pump, well, not meet, we're about to hear Pickle-Pee and Pump-a-Rum, the 2 crows. Their nest is actually up there, however, here we can also access them. And what we've essentially done is we've skipped a 20,000 soul key, which we will get later on because we need to get something else from that spire. But for now, we get some early goodies. And it's not what I'm about to get here, but we do want the gesture. So since we're here, first leave 1 homeward bone. We're going to get the call over gesture. That's 11th of 33 gestures. And we'll get some iron bracelets. Leave 1 firebomb. We're going to get a large titanite from this. And lastly, that prism stone we purchased. Leave that. And we're going to get a twinkling titanite from that. Come to the left for an Estus shard. And then come here. So this is the path opposite the entrance we took. Invisible wall. Hit it or roll into it. And all the way to the end. If the Estus shard wasn't good enough, we are now going to get our first ring of the game, and what a ring it is, the covetous silver serpent ring. Fallen foes yield more souls. I kind of should remember if it's 10 or even 20%, but you get at least 10% extra souls from every defeated enemy. Yes, please. So, with that done, we're going to head back over to good old Andre, and we're going to reinforce our Estus flask so that we now have 5 heals all ready to start the game. So now if you look at a lot, there you go, 5. Have a rest, and we're nearly done with the Firelink area for now. We're going to one last time come up here. We're going to exit this time. We're going to go hard right. So of the 2, we want to keep the high road. Keep the high road by turning right again. Up. Back on yourself. Dispatch these 2. Come up here and grab the ember. So ember is the equivalent of humanity. When you pop an ember, it immediately embers your character. So immediately fully heals and reverses your hollowing. East-west shield, and now time to deal with the master. However, he is super fast, has a parry and an Uchigatana, so we're of course not going to fight him fair. So up we come, keep going until he starts to aggro towards. I'm making sure that he's walking his way down. Yep. Come on. Okay, once he is, come here, shield up. So if he doesn't attack, Is he? Yeah, so he's starting to walk away. And all we want him to do is attack here. Come on. So you might just have to keep moving. Oh, come on, will you just attack already, please? And come on, why are you not attacking? They've not patched you. We know you will attack. That's it, come on, attack me. Stop trying to hit me. There we go. And that's all we wanted. For him to attack, because he always does his lunging attack, and that means he always jumps off the edge. A nice cheeky 2,200 souls, I believe that was. And then, even cheekier, because he fell and died to gravity, he doesn't have anywhere for his drops to go. So when we quit the game and reload the game, continue. Ta-da! There's his drops. Uchi-Katana, Master Ties, and Master's Gloves. Now, the Uchi-Katana is an amazing weapon. I have a lot of time for katana builds. However, it does not make this game easier. It is fun, it has bleed, but it does not make the game easier. The Fire Longsword, because of the speed, you can just multi-hit, you can stun lock enemies. It is more efficient and effective than an Uchi-Katana. And the moment you put fire on an Uchi-Katana and you get rid of the dex scaling, it's no longer an Uchi-Katana. It's pointless. You now have a slower version of the Fire Longsword. Makes no sense. So, with that done, we're going to come to our maiden. We're going to sell a Soul of the Deserted Corpse, so one of those for 200. We're then going to purchase, and we're going to purchase 150 wooden arrows. After all, we have a dragon to shoot down.
Ashen 1.
Come over to our Firekeeper,
Prick them to look very
level
well,
up,
then
and let's level up Vigor to 16 to further improve survivability.
May the
And with that, we are now ready to go to our first area. So travel, High Wall of Lothric, let's go. Loading screens, and how Demon Souls eradicated them. So this one does take a particularly long time to load. Not sure why this one takes longer than the rest. It just does. There we go. Right. Open. Exit. And not for the first time that in this game you'll go immediately from one bonfire and there will be another. It's just something they do. So we've lit the bonfire, come out this little gap and quickly charge R2 to kill the crossbowman. Drop down the steps, and what we're going to do is we're going to lure the doggo, let him bounce off the shield, and you can see now fire makes him roll around and writhe like a weirdo. Such is the power of the fire attribute in this game. I'm going to try and lure the doggo and not the big halberd guy, as the way we're going to deal with mobs in this game is to separate them. Now, over here, if you're lucky, you'll be able to get a plunge attack. If not, we're still going to come down here as we only want to fight one of the giants at a time. As you can see there, all I did, I waited for him to attack, I rolled past him, and I got a backstab. We're going to try and do the same thing on Mr. Halberd. Oh, rolled too early, however it's fine. 100% physical block shield says the knight is always fire. And as you can see, when I hit them with fire, they flinch, and that's how we can get the stun lock. For the sake of souls, let's come down here, one more enemy. And grab another soul item, that's another 200 soul item, the deserted corpse. Now, the only thing we actually need from this direction is going to be the bow. However, we're also going to fight an optional elite enemy. Come here, carefully kill the sniper. However, you need to let the crow come out. Back away while he kills the congregation, and let him come to you. If he doesn't come to... oh, there we go. Be very careful. 1, 2, 3, and then back away. Because once there is... he now has fire immunity for a few seconds. Right now, stamina, don't kill me. There we go. So, attack, he catches fire. 3 hits, back away. Basically, keep on defense, wait 5 seconds, attack again. The fire will trigger again. Keep hammering at him. I was 1 attack away from death, from killing him. So if need be, attack him 3 times, back away, do it again. However, you only get the Titanite shard and the ember if you kill that enemy when it becomes a crow. If you kill him before he becomes a crow, which we're going to do later on, you don't get any drops, but you prevent the crow. And what we want is the longbow and the standard arrows. So yes, I did pick up the drop, however it's a guaranteed drop, the Titanite and the ember. Now we have the longbow. Titanite shard, longbow. Yep. Deal with the remaining 2 prayers over there. And we're going to come... yeah, I thought you could get away from me. There we go. That's an extra 120 souls from all of those. We're going to quickly travel back to Firelink. Head over to Andre. We now have 2 Titanite, so we are going to level up.
That is good, wasn't he?
Reinforce Fire Longsword to level 1. Well, Fire Longsword +1.
Pretty big. I don't.
There we go, that's an extra 20 damage per hit.
How?
Over to the Handmaid. Buy a torch. Thankfully, unlike Dark Souls 2, torch is permanent item, so we don't need to keep stocking up on torches. And 50 more arrows. So we now have 200 of those in total. Arrows should automatically equip themselves, as will bolts when we pick those up, but we're not ever going to use bolts. Travel to the high wall of Lothric. This one takes so long. There we go. Okay, don't sprint yet. Walk down the steps. Walk, 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 and sprint. And keep going, keep going, keep going. And this guy, you do not let him finish his scream. If a screamer finishes his scream, every enemy in the area will aggro towards you. Come up here, kill the swordsman, and now we can finish off the rest of the competition. But yeah, can you imagine if all of these enemies all charged at us at the same time? Grab the soul item. So yes, we kill the screamer. Down here, defeat this guy. Back, up, and along. Defeat you, and sprint as we've got another screamer. Nope. Never let them finish. Again, all these enemies would otherwise aggro here. And look how much easier it is when we don't have to restrict the enemies. Up we go. Careful, ambush from the right. Up, grab the binoculars. Since we're going to have a bow, we do not need the binoculars to help us with aiming. So I believe I sell them later on. Come here. If you drop onto this and then drop again, you won't take any fall damage. If you drop from there to here, you will take a little bit of fall damage. Grab the gold pine resin. Drop and bop. Careful, ambush. Grab a couple of firebombs, and down the ladder we go. Shing. Equip our longbow. You'll see we're at 70%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap our knight gauntlets for the iron bracelets to get us underneath 70% so that we are still on our mid-roll. On or above 70 equals fat roll. So I fired one of our strong arrows at that archer there. And sadly this guy's going to take forever to reach us. And even worse, now he's got his shield up. Come on, come to me. We're probably fine. I don't think they're going to see us from there. That's fine. Okay. The bigger the shield, the more they steal. Right. Let's get a hit into the swordsman because they're going to sprint at us nice and fast. And as I do with every mob that I possibly can, I'm just going to fight them one at a time. Because that's how we avoid dying to mobs in Dark Souls. Applicable to every Dark Souls. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. Two or three arrows should finish off this crossbowman. Which leaves us just with Mr. Spear here. So yeah, spears, three options. Eventually they'll attack you, bounce off your shield, you hit them, you kick the shield away, and then that opens up a critical hit. Or, like there, you fail the kick, you do a normal attack, it hits the shield, and then they'll attack you afterwards. Now that they're clear, we're now going to come up here, and you can see I've already got my bow ready. Hello, Dragon. now that everyone on the bridge is dead, we can wait. Once you stand a breath, step up, and we're just going to donk him in the cuticle 3 times. Avoid the breath. Rinse and repeat. Every now and again he does this weird pause where he's not attacking. Once you attack him again, that will kick it off. So you've seen there how much we take off. He is going to let us take him down to 90% health lost. So when he's got about 10%, maybe if we're lucky it'll be like 15-20. But when he's got a slither of health left, he will finally leave us, but he will drop us a large titanite for our troubles. And more importantly, he will no longer be breathing fire on this bridge, so we can pick up the items on the bridge and proceed. Apparently I'm still packing fire. Now, I have personally not found somewhere where I can safely hit him, because if I'm here, even though I can see here, look what happens if I try and hit. Oh look, I've hit the steps. So I've not found somewhere where I can hit him and avoid the fire consistently. So the safest way to do this is 3 arrows, 4 if you're lucky, or if he does a pause, get another 3 off. And then when he breathes the fire, come down a couple of steps. Because it's not fully up the steps where the fire is in effect. As you saw, I got fire damage and I was on like this step here. So large titanite, that dragon will never come back. So making sure, yeah, fixed items, we've got the club, the ember, back here for the claymore, and the large soul item. I'm going to open this door. However, first things first. Now, we should always be in a position where we can come up here. I've tested this numerous times. That knight always conveniently exits, allowing us to kill these others first. Now, if we are fortunate, we will... Nope. I was going to say we'll get sneaky. If not, 2 hands. Now, you can try the one-handed try and roll past backstab strategy on these guys. However, Dark Souls 3 very much rewards the bold and the aggressive. So that is my recommendation. As you saw, I took a hit, but then all I did was I spammed 2-hand attack, and either you're going to hit him, at which point the fire means he's staggered, or he keeps shielding, and then we get him stunned for a critical. Careful here to the left, there is an assassin. We'll grab that item in a moment. But for now, I'm going to come here, light, but do not rest. We came here purely out of precaution. I don't even know. I think this opens from the other side, yeah. So I'm going to heal up. And we're just coming back now to the Dragon Bridge. Climb up here. Open this door from this side. Just in case, as we are about to fight a mimic, I'm going to clear some of the blocking items, the chairs and tables. As this mimic, if it grabs you, if it grabs us, we're dead. So 1, 2, play it safe. Yeah, that grab equals death. One attack at a time only. 2 only if you are confident that you're not. So after a grab, you have a nice 2. And there I got a stagger on him, so I just kept going. There we go. Roar! 1600 souls and a deep battle axe. Deep battle axe isn't actually a bad alternative if you don't want to go down the fire route, if you want to go down the dark route. However, fire is just so strong in this game. Right, mimic. Bop the bar. Right. We'll grab that on the way back as we're going to head over, and we're now going to rest at this bonfire. Travel to Firelink. Head over to the Handmaiden, sell the binoculars, and sell 2 of our deserted corpse, the 200 each. So 2 of those for another 400.
Ashen one. Welcome, speak.
So if you haven't figured out, so selling gives you the exact same amount as using the item. So it is quicker to sell soul items than it is just to pop them all manually.
Very well. Then take
Level up.
nourishment from these sovereignless souls.
Do a gesture that I didn't realise I input. And then we can get 2 levels into Vigor to get it up to 18. Survivability.
May the flames.
Rest. Travel to the tower on the wall, the one that we just came from. So one thing I do like that they introduced in Dark Souls 3 is when you travel from a bonfire, it will automatically highlight the last place you were. So whenever you go to Firelink, when you go travel like that, it will automatically bring you to the page where you just came from. Nice little touch. Right. Start to walk and stop here, let the elite exit. We don't have to fight him, so there's no point. Assassin will throw up to 2 daggers and then we'll run out of daggers. Oh no, apparently not. Look at you making me like a fool. Come over here, grab the fire bombs. Speaking of fire, do be careful of the barrels. as we are attacking with a fire weapon. Excuse me. I was going to say plunge this one and then be ready for an enemy over here, but no, you aggroed straight off the bat. There are more enemies below us, however we don't need to go down there for now, so we're not going to go down there quite yet. I'm going to have a gulp of my Estus, come out here, grab the soul of a deserted corpse, top of the steps. Come on. Are you really not going to come up the ladder? Fine. So there's normally a hollow that climbs up that ladder to attack us. There he is, paying no attention. Normally, you come up the steps here, he then comes and attacks you, so you can fight the one from the ladder while you're here. You then come up, come here, let that one climb over the wall, attack him. What is your malfunction? Fine, get punished. That's what you get for not climbing the ladder. You deserve it. Right, we have another of those wonderful crow enemies to deal with, and it drops a Titanite shard. So it is worth the risk. It may take you a couple of efforts to try and defeat. Let him crow out. Let him attack the congregation and swing. Get distance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, still got that immunity to fire. I was going to say, there we go. Okay, so I picked up an ember from one of the congregation. So I will discard 1 ember, because I shouldn't have it. Firebombs over here. And the crow, just like the last one, dropped an ember and a titanite. So as you can see, crystal lizard, I came far left, and that way I was able to force it so that it wasn't going to run. It will run and jump off the roof, and you won't get the drop. So you need to make sure you come to the far left so that you can wedge it between this wall and get a raw gem, so we can use that for a raw weapon. Large soul item over here. Get your bow, and we're going to outsnipe this sniper. Headshots do deal more damage in this. So, point of note. And let's descend. Right. Careful of snipe. He says as you get sniped. And then once you kill him, immediately turn and go to town on the other 2 that ambush. Firebomb times 3. Slide down. Bop these 2 and head back up. Something they did do nicely in this is you can now fast climb ladders without depleting your stamina like it did in Dark Souls 2. Come in and immediately turn left, head up, watch out for the archer. And this one, although he's a screamer, if you charge straight up to the archer, he always comes after you, he doesn't scream, so big advantage. In here, be aware that there is an assassin ambush there, and a titanite shard. Come down. That is a live hollow in the pot, or behind the pot. Grab the undead hunter charm, and you might have seen there is a spearman here. Spearmans are slightly more annoying than the swordsmans. Tends to use his shield a lot. Right, Two-hand time. There we go. Aggression is always rewarded in Dark Souls 3. And, well, we're at the 55-minute mark already. Fantastic. Okay, so enemy will ambush. Well, he will think about it. There we go. Thought about it, and he succeeded, kind of. Come in here, grab the broadsword, and they'll come back, and where this wheel is, roll through the crates. Hang a left, grab the green blossom, roll and drop down, chest, and this is an Astora straight sword. Not a bad weapon actually. If you make it raw and you have the 12 faith you need to wield it, really good alternative to the fire longsword. However, again, just the fire stun damage. Now we need to make sure we take out this guy, or at least get him to drop down as we have there. Equip your fire bombs and use your bow to help with aim. Okay, that is why I wanted to deal with that guy, is because he lobs fire bombs. No. Don't worry, none of the enemies will actually reach you. You'll see that axeman will start coming back down momentarily. But all I'm doing is I'm using these explosive barrels. Explosive barrels, please. There we go. Let's get some arrows into this doggo. Headshot should stun him enough that we can get a follow-up on him. There we go, see? Told you he'd be back. Kobe! Oh, damn it. There we go. Plunge. And swing. Ow. Ow! Did you not hear me say ow, sir? I'm supposed to stun lock you, not the other way around. Come down here. Grab the cell key. That is a very important key that we need to pick up. Grab an Estus shard. And in here for a Titanite shard. Okay, now we've grabbed that. This is probably, as much as I don't like to leave a video part the way, that's what we're going to do. So we've grabbed the cell key, we've grabbed the Estus shard, we've grabbed the Titanite. We are going to stop here, even though we have we've got a few minutes to get to the next bonfire, but I don't have a few minutes on the video, so that's where we'll stop. So hopefully your first part of your journey has gone smoothly. Well, it's gone somewhat smoothly, could have gone better in some places, but all in all I'm very happy with it. I can't wait to see you all in the next video and as you continue your Dark Souls 3 Platinum journey with me. So please do feel free to comment, ask questions, anything I can assist with, I'll more than happily do so. And if you haven't done so, for me, please drop a like and a subscribe. It means the world to me, you mean the world to me, you're amazing. Thank you so much, and bye for now.